everyone, it's Day the Nerd here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below to get all the nerdy content you ever need every Wednesday and Saturday. And today, it's once again time for my monthly favorites video. Now, I don't have a whole lot to talk about this month because I feel like I was playing so many games for so many months and watching so much anime, and the winter anime season is dying. Well, not dying, but coming to an end. And there's not much in the spring season I'm watching besides My Hero Academia and a couple of others. And that hasn't started yet as of recording this video. And I've just been kind of replaying a lot of games lately because there hasn't been a whole lot coming out. And so yeah, I don't have a whole lot to talk about, but I do have some things to talk about, like the fact that I got a PS5, finally. After months and months, I found a PS5 and I have a PS5, and I no longer have to feel the anxiety of missing out on PS5 exclusives anymore. And because I have a PS5, I got Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, I know that it came out for the PS4 as well, and I could have played it on my PS4. But I was literally determined that I will not play Miles Morales until I get a PS5 because it looks so fucking gorgeous on the PS5 that I just had to wait. And it did not disappoint. It was a gorgeous game, and I have the DualSense controller right here, and shooting webs with the controller right here, and the pushback and the feeling that the whole game gave you in this controller was insane. And I'm so glad that I waited to play it until I got the PS5. But then next, we're gonna talk about anime. Now, I've talked to death about the winter anime season anime, so I'm not going to be talking about that, but I am going to be talking about a Netflix original anime called The Great Pretender. Now, The Great Pretender came out a while back on Netflix. It's a Netflix original anime, but I hadn't watched it yet because I got so busy with all the weekly animes and shit that I was watching and playing. But I finally tried it with my mom because I've turned my mom into a weeb, and I've been watching, rewatching all these animes I love with her to show them to her. And we finally found one that we both had never seen that we wanted to watch together, and that is The Great Pretender. And so far, I really like it. It's really unique in the way that they're doing languages, to feel the realisticness of these, con men traveling and all these other languages they're going to encounter. And it's really interesting, and I like it so far. I've never been a big fan of con man kind of stories, but this one is really interesting and I'm really liking it so far. And then next, TV. Now, because the weekly anime season is coming to an end with winter, I have been watching a lot of live action regular people TV. And I tried Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, and I instantly fell in love with it. If you don't know what it's about this 29-year-old girl named Zoe, who is a coder, programmer at some sort of tech company in San Francisco. And her dad has some rare neurological disorder, and so she got an MRI when she was feeling some pain in her head and her eyes to make sure she didn't have the same disorder. And there was an earthquake during the MRI while the MRI tech was playing this long playlist of music, and because of the combination of the radiation or whatever from the MRI machine and the music and the earthquake, she now has the ability to basically read people's minds and feelings through song. So when someone has some deep emotion that they want to express, but it's on the inside, Zoe basically sees that person perform a song in front of her. So for example, there's this guy at work who seems really happy on the outside, but on the inside he's really depressed, and so she sees him sing this really depressing song, so she knows that he's depressed and she goes to try and comfort him. And so it's kind of like having empath powers but through song, and it's really good. And I put off watching it for a long time because to me the trailers made it look kind of cringy, and any show, like TV show, where people randomly burst out into song can be really cringy. I didn't like the show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend for that reason, because I thought it was really cringy. But this show does it really well. They blend it so effortlessly into the regular talking parts of the show that it just fits, and it honestly kind of feels like a stage musical in a show, to where, you know, the transitions between talking and singing, and it just fits really, really well, and it's really emotional. I cried like 500 times watching it so far, and I'm finally caught up and can watch it weekly, and it's just really freaking good. I love it so much. And the next regular person TV is Falcon and Winter Soldier. As I've talked about on these videos before, I love Marvel. As of this recording of this video, there's only been one episode, but it's really, really good, and I love that the setup that they're doing for the MCU as a whole, because I was a little disappointed in WandaVision because it really didn't feel like it was going to connect and really affect the MCU as a whole that much. But after like literally one episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, it greatly affects the MCU as a whole, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. And lastly, I'm going to talk about movies. Now, this is also Marvel related, and people are going to come at me, but before this month, I'd never seen the AntMan movies, and they were the only Marvel movies I hadn't seen, because the trailers made it look freaking stupid, and also they explain what AntMan is enough in like Civil War and the Marvel and the Avengers movies or whatever, that I didn't feel it necessary. But I don't know, I was in a Marvel mood and I decided to finally watch it, and I really like it. Now, it's not going to be one of my favorites because it's kind of goofy and silly and stuff like that, which isn't usually my jam with Marvel. But I did really enjoy it. And Anthony is best boy of the MCU, and then that's all I'm going to say, is that Anthony is best boy of the MCU. But anyways, I really enjoyed it, and I plan to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp at some point, though from what I've heard, it is nowhere near as good as the first one, so yay. But anyways, that's all I have for you today, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.